The LAPD has no comment on what's happening in downtown Los Angeles at this troubled hour, but sources indicate it may be a gunfight over recovered evidence. Sky 5, your local news source.
Hello all you Pixel people, I am Pixel and welcome to my initial impressions of the Battlefield Hardline beta. This was a little bit of a surprise because at E3, EA decided to announce that the beta was going to go live instantly and it was on a first come first served basis. There was a little bit of a clambering to actually try and get into the game right when that happened, but I did manage to get in eventually. And I've been playing now for around 5 to 6 hours, and I thought that that's kind of enough to give you my initial impressions. I may do one at the end of the beta as well to see if any of this has changed. I'm going to try and play for at least an hour or two a day just so I can actually get used to it and kind of fall into the feeling of Battlefield Hardline. But right now, I have to admit, there's quite a few things that I do kind of like, there's some things that I really like, and there's a lot of things that I am really gutted about in all fairness. And I'm going to start off with a positive. Let's start off with some positives, shall we? So, one thing that has improved from Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 is the responsiveness of the kills. I have noticed that the servers still do feel a little bit choppy, but right now when you actually shoot at somebody, it feels almost like you're getting those hit markers almost instantly, and it feels like the time to kill is very, very low. Obviously this can be considered a little bit of an issue as well because it is so much sharpish, you do feel yourself dying a lot quicker as well as being able to kill a lot quicker, but I suppose it balances itself out. But it definitely gives you a little bit more feedback to when you are actually hurting somebody, and yeah, I like that. I'm not always so keen on the fact of how it shows you getting hit. It does almost feel instantaneous sometimes, which I feel could be worked on because we're in this situation once again where you don't really get warning to when or how you are going to die. You just die. But in general, the responsiveness of the gunplay is a fair bit better. I believe this is because it's running on 30-tick servers rather than the 3010 system that was in Battlefield 4. I'm not entirely sure what was in Battlefield 3, but it feels better to shoot people than in Battlefield 4. The other thing that I like is how the vehicles seem to impact play. And I'm not talking about like the tanky kind of vehicles or even the helicopters. I'm talking about the supercars, the idea of speeding around the map and actually you just witness some really cool crashes and you witness chase sequences. Unfortunately, when you're actually part of a chase sequence, the game doesn't feel that great, to be honest. I mean, they have improved the vehicle handling and the feel due to it, like the way the network's working a fair bit, but at the same time, there's still this kind of clunky feel to the driving. It's almost like your car always wants to go in a straight line, and to turn is really difficult. I do drive in real life. I don't know if I'm thinking this because of just not understanding how real driving mechanics work, or if this is supposed to be realism. But right now, all I can tell you is that I'm really not too keen on the way that the cars handle, even though I am enjoying the way that they have an effect on gameplay. Something else that I really do enjoy is the blood money game type. This is something which I wasn't really that excited for from seeing the trailers. I kind of expected it to be almost like a domination where you'd have to like stand on flags. But I was really kind of blown away by the fact that it does kind of direct play in most circumstances. However, there are still a few issues with blood money yet again. I mean, issues. Right now, the issue, though, isn't down to the game mode itself. It is down to the people playing it. I don't know if this is down to a lack of experience or people just experimenting and not wanting to play the objective, but that is purely the issue. It doesn't seem like many people are playing the objective in Blood Money. It seems like maybe it's 2 or 3 people per team, and the best out of them 2 or 3 people will actually be the team that end up winning out. The rest of the players just seem to be having fun in the vehicles and trying to camp I suppose you could call camping the objective play, but it definitely doesn't feel like that when you're actually part of a game. It just feels a little bit low bob, to be honest. The other thing that I'm kind of enjoying is the map design. I don't think it's spectacular by any means, but I do feel like it gives you enough options to be able to to traverse the environment and actually get around. There are a few other little features which have been added to the game, such as a zip line and a grapple hook, which kind of make things a little bit easier to move around. They're still not 100% reliable. I think they could work a little bit harder on actually getting these to feel good to use, but at least the options are there. And the map design itself isn't too bad in all fairness. Like I said, not spectacular, but it's definitely not too bad. Now, unfortunately, I think I might... Oh, actually, there is one more thing that I actually do enjoy, and that is the customization system, because finally, we don't need to just keep getting battle packs. However, I'm not 100% certain on that, because the pre-order does come with battle packs, so maybe, just maybe, this is just a beta thing. But right now, as you can see in the bottom right hand of the screen, you've got your cache, and your cache allows you to buy equipment, weapons, and attachments in almost any order that you like. There is a restriction which is based on your weapon mastery, so your service stars, except the service star achievable rate is very high because it's only like 10 to 15 kills right now, where like in Battlefield I believe it was 50 or 100, I can't remember, but yeah, so it does kind of limit some stuff out by number of service stars, which I have got no issue with, to be honest, because at least I know that if I want a Coyote Red Dot sight, I can get a Coyote Red Dot sight, as long as I save up the cash to be able to afford it, and I play for a decent amount of time with the weapon to get the service stars required to do so. So yeah, that is something that I am actually kind of happy to see in the game. However, I'm still interested to see how it's going to work into the battle pack system, which definitely still seems to be in the game at the moment. So yeah, anyway, that really brings me to the end of my positives, and now we're going to get on to the crux of the stuff that I'm really kind of disappointed with, to be honest, guys. And the main one, straight off the bat, is it's the Frostbite engine. Yeah, do you really need to know anything more? It feels clunky as hell. It feels like you are running around and you're a 20-stone guy who's being lifted up by helium balloons. There's just no... You don't feel the gravity or the friction in the game world. And you get stuck on curbs and little bit of ledges, and if there's a little bit of rubble in the way, you'll start glitching, it'll slow you down, and so the movement feels really kind of janky. You've still got the issues with long-range scoping, with the textures flickering and clipping, stuff which has been here since Battlefield 3 as well. And in general, I'm kind of disappointed that none of the issues which we've definitely made apparent to the developers as issues have really been looked at in almost any way. I really can't think of any improvements here apart from the way that the gunfighting and maybe the cars feel. I can't really see any progress being made over Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, to be honest, which is kind of a shame. You will still see people get shot in the head, then ping 100 meters across the map because physics, and it's kind of low. It's kind of sucky, to be honest. The other thing that I'm not liking is the Heist game mode, and maybe this is mainly due to my initial expectations with Heist not being met. From the trailers that we saw, both the leaked trailer and the E3 trailer, it made Heist mode look like it was an objective-based mode, as in, like, you was doing stuff. It was almost looked like it was going to be a Payday style, kind of, the criminals need to pull off this heist while the cops are trying to stop them, and I thought it was going to progress, where cops would probably get better equipment or spawn closer and stuff like that, but unfortunately it wasn't like that at all. What it basically came down to was obliteration, except only one team is playing obliteration, the other team is basically there to stop them. There is, in this map at least, there is 2 briefcases, or money I assume it is, that you need to take to an escape point. It's effectively it. It's kind of balked because right now, if the criminals manage a really good push at the start, the round can be over in less than a couple of minutes. And then you've got to go and wait to load up into the next map for the next 3 minutes, which is kind of silly. And in general, I'm just really disappointed with that game mode. It looked like the standout feature for Battlefield Hardline, which just really didn't exist. It just never really came down to that, unfortunately. And I think that unless there's a really interesting game mode in the pipeline, or maybe this is just a poor implementation for the beta, then there's nothing really which is going to be feeling new or different or even interesting when it comes to game modes. I think, honestly, like, Blood Money's quite decent. I do enjoy that, but I'm probably still just going to cross my fingers and hope that there's a domination mode, and probably stick to that, because right now the other game modes are kind of uninspired and not very interesting to play, in all fairness. Now, this is kind of a cosmetic issue that I've got. Everything feels really fat and bulky, apart from the player models, which are anorexic. Like, literally, I have never seen people this skinny. Like, in the world, never mind America or the UK. The people are really skinny, and it kind of looks really strange to see them running around. And then, like, to kind of contrast that, you've got these weapons which are just bulky. Like, I don't know if weapons are bulky in real life, but they just feel bulky and fat. And they look floaty in the animations. I'm hoping to dear God that this is just unfinished assets, because right now it's ugly. It's so ugly. The character models, the weapons, just not feeling that at all, to be honest, guys. Just not feeling it at all. One thing that a lot of people will be disappointed to find out as well is levolution is in the game. Like, I think a lot of people can understand levolution and actually get behind it, but the issue with levolution on this map in particular is it is pretty much like Siege of Shanghai, the game mode, and the game just isn't as fun once the levolution event has happened. It just turns all the screen foggy and smoky and you can't see anything. It's poor, to be honest. It's, yet again, I'm going to be hoping that whenever I'm playing this in public servers, that people just decide not to do the levolution. But obviously when the game first releases, it's going to be constant levolutions for the first 6 weeks. Oh, God help me so. Now, I've spoke about quite a few negatives. There's still quite a bit more which is kind of frustrating me, to be honest, but I don't really want to go into it too much, because I do think that some of this may change the more I get used to it. I have been playing a few other games recently which aren't like Battlefield and are a lot more responsive, so maybe a lot of this bulk feeling of not being able to walk through doors and getting stuck on stairs is something which I'm not overly hating, but I am more alert to right now. Maybe I will get used to it, maybe it won't feel as bad eventually, but right now, I'm not liking it. When it comes to my overall impression of Battlefield Hardline, this is where I get in trouble, guys. This could have quite easily been Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 DLC. That is basically it. I don't think it's bringing anything new whatsoever to the actual table. I think it's okay. It's same old, except not as good. As crazy as that sounds. There's just no epic moment in this beta like there was with Siege of Shanghai, or even Caspian Border in Battlefield 3. Even Metro, to a certain extent, just had this feeling of awesomeness, at least for a short amount of time. This doesn't have any of that, to be honest, guys. It kind of feels like a cut and paste job, and I will not be pre-ordering this game. I probably will end up buying it at release still, so I might as well pre-order it, but I don't know. It's just, I'll buy it for the sake of owning it, unfortunately, because I'm a little bit of an idiot like that, but right now, I'm not feeling it. I'm just really not feeling it. Anyway, guys, I would love to know your feedback if you've actually been playing Hardline yourself. What do you guys think? Do you think it is a cut and paste job? Are you happy with the game modes? What do you think about the new netcode? Are you frustrated with all the bugs which have come over from the Frostbite engine? And yeah, I'm going to leave it here, guys. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness. And as always, like the video if you like the video. I'm Pixel. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.